Brewing battle on the Stockton City Council. The mayor speaking out earlier today about some concerns with her vice mayor.
That's right. Your reporter covering San Joaquin County, Charlie LaPastora, is getting answers on the argument spilling into tonight's meeting.
Allegations of bringing camera crews into City Hall to film reality-style promotional content without getting approval and creating a hostile work environment, allegedly verbally abusing staff. For Stockton Mayor Fugazi, she says comments on social media by Vice Mayor Lee were directed toward her family.
Make no mistake, Stockton will not be exploited for anyone's personal agenda or network of associates. Not now, not ever. Our city deserves accountability, stability, and a government focused on the real work.
Guys, things have been heating up with Jason Lee and the mayor of Stockton, Christina Fugazi. You know, the mayor, Christina Fugazi of Stockton, is like essentially making arguments against Jason Lee in the public. All right. But let's go back a little bit because there's so many overlapping issues with Christina Fugazi and Jason Lee. The first is Christina Fugazi announced that she was forming an ad hoc committee to investigate Jason Lee, saying that there have been serious concerns about his conduct. I don't know if you guys have watched. I have, and I've recorded several of the meetings that they've had in the city, and just the different tensions and behaviors. I mean, these guys have to sit next to each other. It's gotten off the rails, so much so that, I mean, it's beyond professionalism at this point. It's some of these city meetings and meetings with this whole committee group has been a little bit crazy. And I've been able to see some of them because they're all available for public view. It definitely is giving reality TV show content. I'm just saying, as somebody that, you know, is a spectator of such content, and we talk about such content. But the concerns that Christina Fugazi is saying is that she is concerned that Jason Lee is involved in a nonprofit he founded seeking $58 million in public funds, bringing filming crews into the city hall for promotional content without approval, allegations of verbally abusing staff, steering city contracts towards associates, which is interesting because the Wild 'N Out situation was that is currently being investigated. Questions about his primary residency because Jason Lee travels everywhere. He's on location for certain spots. This has been something that Mayor Fugazi has brought to question. She also said that Lee had made public social media comments about her family, which she characterized as inappropriate and dangerous given threats that she has received. Christina Fugazi has spoken out. She has alleged that she has been targeted because of Jason Lee specifically. Now, Jason Lee is pushing back, as I think a lot of us would expect that he would. He's pushing back hard. All right. He's involved his attorneys. His attorneys had made statements about the money regarding Wild 'N Out and, you know, demanding apologies from the city of Stockton and other demands that he has made. He's demanding official apologies, compensation, letter demand, $25,000 plus damages from the city, claiming his civil rights were violated and that he's been unfairly targeted and that there's a racial and political discrimination in how he's being treated. Okay, this is what a lot of the press is reporting. A lot of what's centered right now is, of course, Jason Lee's involvement in the Wild 'N Out event in Stockton tied to that $50,000 subsidy from the city's risk mitigation funds for that show. But the allegation had less improper connections to the event promoter, and the city is investigating. There's still an ongoing investigation about that. Jason Lee has denied all kinds of wrongdoings as it pertains to that. Okay, the thing about the situation, honestly, and like I said, I don't think it's going to get any better. And I think that both Jason Lee and the mayor and all the people that are in these positions are really missing out is that Stockton was the city that literally went into bankruptcy, filed for bankruptcy not that long ago. And it was one of the biggest situations, scandal ships that happened in the United States. And so for me, it is a little bit like a bit of an eyebrow raiser that here you are, you know, in this position that you were elected in. And at that time, was supported by Christina Fugazi. You know, is your heart really in the right place to build up the city that you love and, you know, that you have a lot of fond memories and that you grew up in and that you want to really highlight the best of for people? And that's the part that I kind of have to ask Jason Lee, that it's like, if you're here for the city, then this Jason Lee persona that a lot of us have, gotten to know through Love and Hip Hop, Hollywood Unlocked, and all these other Wild 'N Out projects kind of has to go out in the door, and it becomes Vice Mayor Jason Lee, who's there for business. And I've seen him on videos where he brings a little bit of everything. And although it's entertaining, it's not for TV, if that makes sense. And if what the mayor is saying is serious, that he's bringing in cameras and there's a production going on during these mayoral meetings, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm just letting y'all know my thoughts as somebody that worked for the city and county of my area for 10 plus years and did some government work and all that. I could tell you that there's a different decorum in how you handle things and how you talk and what you say, because people are looking at you, and it is very top heavy and it's very cutthroat. How are you an asset to the situation? And people are always looking to throw you under the bus for one thing or another. It is a very cutthroat situation as you get further up in these kind of leadership positions. And Jason Lee is in a leadership position. I also think that Mayor Christina Fugazi struggles with that a bit, because I've seen her interactions. She gets some kind of way. She wants to make it known that she's not some kind of like Karen, or she cares about, diversity and equity and all these kinds of programs. And I do kind of have to wonder, well, I mean, is this the only time that she's received pushback from somebody that doesn't look like her? Is it, I don't know. Like something could be done better about the situation. Now, I have to push back on the mayor too, because Christina Fugazi did an interview with Jason Lee on, his platform Hollywood Unlocked sometime in 2024, where they both sat down and they talked about the city of Stockton. So his platform has been used, to promote Jason Lee, to promote her as well. So you're upset now, Mayor Christina Fugazi, that somehow the cameras are there, but you didn't have a problem using Jason Lee's platform to promote yourself and him at the same time. Like, you kind of have to, I don't know, man. I side-eye the mayor too, because it's like, only when it's convenient do you bring these issues up. Or is it because now you've fallen out with Jason Lee and you're not liking that pushback that you might get? Or is Jason Lee not turning it off? I don't know. You guys let me know what you guys think in the comments. Separately, Fugazi and Jason Lee also disagree on procedure. Christina Fugazi dissolved an ad hoc committee to select the next city manager, which had been created by the council, without that apparently going back to the full council for approval. Okay, now Lee and another councilman called that a unilateral decision outside of the proper process. This speaks to a deeper riff, I think, overall, of how much authority the mayor should have versus the full council, and how transparent or collaborative these processes are, right? And by the way, the people of Stockton, the city of Stockton, I see them attend. They want to bring the best out of Stockton. So a lot of this back and forth is kind of drowning out the voices of the people that they were elected to represent. And I really kind of see that. I just don't know if they do. I really hope that they bring a mediator into a situation. Now, of course, if it's become to the level of, Christina Fugazi making allegations against Jason Lee, threats to her family and whatnot, then I do have a problem with that, because it shouldn't have gotten to that point. I have seen Jason Lee bring to his social media, a lot of ish talking about some of the people that are there, the mayor and other folks. I kind of side eye that, because it's one thing to use your platform to do your Hollywood Unlocked and social media and blogging, whatever, right? Your content. It's another thing to rally up a fan base against a person that's an elected official. And what I mean by that further is that you're also in partnership with them. So it's not like I'm speaking against the mayor. No, you're vice. And so how can that situation should be handled in a way in which, it doesn't rise to a point where people are fearing for their life or safety or whatever it may be. Now, the conflict raises questions, I think, about accountability. As somebody who's watching this from a maybe governmental side, there's questions about accountability, transparency, and how the city leadership's how they handle allegations of misconduct. What do they do? Is there a financial risk, even with wilding out and other things that are kind of being flagged and the decision making that's being made by that? And then you have Jason Lee threatening litigation, which again costs the city. And let me remind you guys, Stockton went bankrupt in like 2012, and they filed, I think, a chapter 9 at that time. And there was so much mishandling and debt that was happening. So Jason Lee threatened to file the lawsuit against the city is a hit to the city that he wants to, show out and put on the map. Like, I don't know, man. I do have to kind of wonder, Jason, could you do something a little bit different with that? I get it. I get it. Your name is your brand and everything, but this is government, and there is a level of like, how do we handle this better, and how do we work through some of these issues better and work through them so that they're not displayed out in these city council meetings. These committee meetings have become the next telenovela. I don't know if you guys have been watching, but you need to, because I'm watching. And I'm literally seeing them go back and forth. And it is spicy how they talk to each other. Totally made for reality TV. The next, reality TV show should be these council meetings. I'm just saying. The citizens and, the members of the city, they're looking at how the city responds and how they're handling money and in the political optics of the situation. How people are handling the conflict here, I mean, it definitely influences major decisions in how things are being done and set. If this does not work, if this situation does not get fixed, honestly, I mean, I could definitely see where you're going to have protests, you're going to have maybe council meetings, you're going to have people maybe be pushed out of positions and things like that, because it's just taken to a different degree. And this just broke yesterday about how heated things have gotten, to give you guys an understanding and an idea. Let's go and watch this.
Make no mistake, Stockton will not be exploited for anyone's personal agenda or network of associates. Not now, not ever. Our city deserves accountability, stability, and a government focused on the real work.
Now, regarding this matter, I spoke with Vice Mayor Lee after this press conference, and he said he'll be sending out a press release. Mayor Fugazi said she moved Vice Mayor Lee's seat because she's afraid of him. However, just before the meeting started right here in City Hall, they moved the plaque right next to Mayor Fugazi's seat, so they were sitting right next to each other again during tonight's city council meeting.
You guys let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm literally just reporting the news, and I will see you guys on the next one. Hit the like button and subscribe. Bye, guys.